There once was a king who lived in the trunk of the tallest tree in the greatest forest in all the world. In this tree he lived with his 3 daughters, Hannah, the oldest and prettiest of the daughters, whose beauty was that of the wild roses; Persephone, the male child, the wisest of the 3, whose wisdom she drew from the owls of the forest. Finally, there was Lara, the youngest and most imaginative of the children, whose creativity came from the designs in the bark of the trees. The king loved his daughters. He loved the forest from which they came from, but the children were too vain to love the forest themselves. One day word came that the king's brother was in dire need of his counsel. The king had never left his daughters before, but the message sounded urgent, and he needed to attend to his brotherly duties. The king gathered his daughters to say farewell before he departed. "Hannah," he said, "you are the most beautiful of my daughters. Please stay within the mirror while I am gone, and become the most beautiful creature this forest has seen." "But father, I am," she cried. "Persephone, you are the wisest of my children. Please, answer all the questions that you have while I am gone. Keep your mind at constant speed." "But father, it is," she claimed. "Lara, you are the most creative of my children. Please paint me the sky while I'm gone. Keep your hands at delicate play." "But father, they are," she cried. And so the king left, while his daughters were left to ponder what their father had told them. The sisters knew the truth themselves, and believed that the forest agreed with them. It had, of course, endowed them with their gifts. So it was decided that the next day the children would leave the castle for the first time to prove that they are the greatest within the forest. First Hannah left. She saw gentle powder to the east and thought it was the most beautiful thing, but did not compare to herself. She set out to prove this with a dance amongst it. Next, Persephone headed towards the dark woods. She knew she could navigate these with ease, for she had the greatest mind in all the land. Finally, Lara decided that she would paint the sky, but she would paint it black, for her father dared to question her talents. A black sky would forever ugly the image of his forest. As Hannah danced amongst the powder, it bowed to her. She was the most beautiful thing amongst it, and it acknowledged that. But she stopped spinning when she looked over top of the hill in which she was dancing. It was the most beautiful thing she had ever seen. "This is not possible," she whispered as she approached. It danced in all directions at once, never slowing, never tiring. It illuminated all around it, and she felt the warmth of its beauty upon her. She had to have this beauty. She had to be the most beautiful, and as she embraced it, and embraced her, she was. Persephone was lost. It was not possible, she dared, for others had navigated this forest, and she was the greatest of them all. But then she saw the light of the brimming edge, a guiding light that would lead her to safety, a lowly sun, and she knew that she had found her way. Lara made it to the top of the tree only to see the sky had already been painted black. It disgusted her, as the blackness was outlined with beauty in red, orange, and yellow. They engulfed the forest, and all the trees around her began to be painted black. She was the only one allowed to make such decisions, she believed. So down from the tree she came, into the yellow, red, orange, ready to paint it the color of her choosing. The forest was engulfed in the terrible beauty, a genius of destruction, a playful enigma that tears apart only to allow regrowth of betterment.